My name is David. I have been a professor at Harvard University for many years. My whole life I have been guided by science, logic, and research. But deep down inside, I always felt something was missing, and no matter how much success I achieved, I could not fill that void. One day, while chatting with a colleague on the university campus, he mentioned Islam. I had only superficial knowledge about Islam before. From what I had seen in the media, I thought Islam was a religion full of strict rules. But that day, my colleague Ahmed explained Islam to me in a different way. Islam means peace and submission, Ahmed said. It is about finding peace by surrendering oneself to Allah. Allah has provided His creatures with the best guide to life. These words surprised me. Peace, tranquility, and surrender. These were the feelings I had always been looking for, but didn't know where to find them. Ahmed gave me a Qur'an as a gift and said, "If you really want to understand, read the word of Allah." In my conversations with Ahmed, every new piece of information I learned about Islam fascinated me more and more. One day, Ahmed told me about the scientific miracles of the Holy Qur'an. "David," Ahmed said, "the Qur'an is not just a book of faith, it is also a guide for humanity. Many verses in it correspond exactly with scientific facts, and this shows us that the Qur'an could not have been written by a human being." I was surprised. "Like what?" I asked. Ahmed smiled and took out a Qur'an from his bag. He opened it to verse 11 of Surat al-Kahf and began to read. "So we struck their ears, gave them a deep sleep, for years in the cave." With this verse, Allah is telling us that Ashab al-Kahf were kept asleep in the cave for a long time, Ahmed said. But pay attention to the phrase, "we struck their ears." In Arabic, this means to prevent the ear from hearing. So why does Allah emphasize the ear in particular? Because scientifically, hearing is the only sense that is active while a person sleeps. If this sense is disabled, one falls into a deep sleep, and it becomes very difficult to wake up. I was astonished by this information. "So the Qur'an says a scientific fact 1400 years ago?" I asked. "Yes," Ahmed said. "What scientists discovered much later, the Qur'an clearly states 14 centuries ago. And this is just one example. There are many scientific miracles in the Qur'an. From the expansion of the universe to embryonic development, Ahmed's words touched me deeply. The Qur'an seemed to be a book that was completely compatible with science. Until then, I had seen faith and science as opposites. But this conversation showed me that faith and science can actually be in harmony with each other. I spent months researching not only the Qur'an, but also the life of the Prophet Muhammad, sallallahu alaihi wasallam. I was impressed by his patience, compassion, and love for people. One day, Ahmed invited me to the mosque. When I entered a mosque for the first time, I watched people turning towards Allah. The way everyone turned in the same direction, prostrating, bowing down to Allah, gave me an incredible sense of humility. At that moment, a voice inside me said, "This peace is what you are looking for." There was no resistance in me anymore. One day, under Ahmed's guidance, I said the Shahada, "Ashhadu an la ilaha illallah wa ashhadu anna Muhammad abduhu wa rasuluh." I testify that there is no God but Allah, and Muhammad is his servant and messenger. That moment was the most peaceful moment of my life. My name became Mehmed. In addition to my scientific studies, I was now learning about my devotion to Allah and how to live under His guidance. In this new life, I embarked on a path of peace and surrender. I realized that all the answers I had been searching for in the past were actually in Allah's guidance.